Hello, everyone. This is Ron, and I am back with you, of course, with another episode of Empire Coins and Collectibles. We have something different today. Envelope is from a subscriber. But before we go there and do the unboxing, if you will, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, tell your friends about us, and perhaps we can help grow the hobby. And that's what it's all about, getting the kids interested into something that they will enjoy the rest of their lives, as it has been for me and my brother. I would say my wife, but I think she more or less tolerates it than anything else. This is what Charles sent me. Not sure, again, what it is. So let's go ahead and cut it open, and we'll find out real quickly what he has to share with all of us. And Charles, by the way, I will be sending something back to you that is very much Texas centric, and it is involved with coin collecting. Oh, now he sent a Pennsylvania quarter, and I know I'm not going to be able to show it to you just right off the top. Well, it's kind of focusing right there. But what we'll do is we'll put it under the microscope, but he did put a letter here. So let's see what the letter has to say. Very curious as to what this is, Charles. So he says, want to say you do great videos. You're too kind. You counteract my wife's criticism. Enjoy them a lot. When it comes to educating people, you really know your business. Here is the coin I said I would send you. It has a die crack to the left under the bust. Hope you do a video if you want to mention me as a contributor. It's okay. And Charles Atkins, thank you so very much. This is what it's all about, sharing the finds and the information that's out there. You're part of the community, and we appreciate everything that you do to support this channel and, of course, the hobby. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. I'm going to switch to the coin microscope, and he knows I really like die cracks as part of a collecting area. So we're going to have to bring this in under the microscope, and we're going to bring it into focus. Now, Charles, maybe we'll have to hunt through this just a bit. You said it's under the bust. Ooh, is it this tip up right here? Let me get the toothpick. Notice there's something that starts right here at the tip of the bust when it turns up and goes through the U, and the U is minted over that die crack. It's kind of interesting. Is this what you were pointing to? Because it certainly looks like a die crack. Let's take it down a little lower. There is some peculiar things about this that makes me wonder a bit. It might be something else. Let's just go down and take a look. Sometimes people will get defective planchets confused with other types of errors, and I'm not saying Charles did that. I'm just saying that it does happen, and I've fallen prey to that as well. Okay, now that's really good in terms of focus. There's his chin. Here it is. So what do you think? Is this a die crack? I'm just trying to focus it a little better. Is this a die crack, or is it something else? It really comes off the tip right here and then moves down. So I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's go down a little further and see if we can bring it back into focus. And I'm going to move the coin down a little bit so we can keep it centered up. Will it focus to have enough range in it? Looks like it. Okay. You can tell this coin was well loved, meaning it circulated quite a bit. Now, see here, I'm not sure. Normally, a die crack will rise up above the surface of the planchet, whereas scratches kind of leave an indent with ridges along the edges of the scratch. I'm not really seeing a lot of ridges. I wonder if this could have been like a struck through wire because it doesn't have the exact features of a die crack. Now, if I can just re-describe what a die crack is, when the die ages, and of course it's been put under tremendous amounts of pressure as it mints each planchet into a coin, the metal that makes up the die becomes fatigued, and eventually, under this tremendous pressure, it will crack along the weakest point in that metal that makes up the die. And when the die goes down to strike the next coin, the metal of the planchet flows up into that crack. So when that metal flows up above the surface of the planchet, and it's a long ridge type feature, you can tell it's a die crack because it's above the surface. This, I can't really tell that much about it. And if I could put the toothpick back in here, if we look, whoops, bring it back into to the range. If we look right here, maybe it is a die crack, and through the circulation, it's been worn a bit. Now that could be, but I just can't tell. Let's rotate the coin. Now here it's looking a little more like a die crack, but it also looks like it has the features of maybe surface damage. It's hard to say. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can take it out and pull it out of the capsule that Charles sent it to us in. Now, see, that's better. It's out of that capsule on the top here. Oh, yeah, we can see it much better than looking through that capsule. And you know, the reason why I would say it has features of a die crack is that it goes from here, one of the weak points, through here, but then it disappears underneath the U in quarter. And then it reappears on the other side. Now, another thing that could be is perhaps in the preparation of the planchet was damaged because if it were a die crack, right in this area, the crossover of this feature above the U, that most likely you'd see that die crack flow into the U and through the U. But we're not really seeing that here. We're seeing this surface of the U as being all there, that like it was fully minted without any problem. And then there's evidence of this arc coming through here over into this area. You see it right there. So perhaps this was a defective planchet. Charles, what do you think? A defective planchet? Because of how the U looks, right? Because if it were a die crack, the die crack, I don't believe, would stop and then reopen on the other side of the U. I think it would flow right through it. There is some indication, now that I look at it a little closer, right here that it does cross over the U. So I don't know. This is a mystery to me. Is it after mint damage? Maybe, rather than a die crack, or is it a die crack? If whatever was causing this damage here, it hit this high point, you would think it might bounce over and not get into that little crack area right there. Okay, I tell you what, let's tool around the coin and see what else there might be. I mean, look at it this way, it kind of looks like a die crack too. Now this certainly is just circulation wear and tear right at the neck, just below the neckline right there. And there's the initials of the engraver. Nothing much there. the Philadelphia Mint mark. In God we trust. This kind of got some interesting features. Charles, did you see this? Look right here at God, the G, and you can kind of see that there may be some machine doubling there. If I can stop bouncing it around. Right in there. And then look at the O in God, and you can see some evidence of doubling on the D. And maybe some on the A, but not as much as the G and the O. Let's go ahead and through the rest of the lettering. Now this is interesting right here. Let's flip this around, just kind of take a look at this. Is that more after the mint mark damage, like circulation damage? Could be, but I've also seen struck through errors that look like that. Non-retained struck through debris that causes something like this. Let's just go down just a bit on the microscope and we'll bring it back into focus. Okay. That's kind of interesting. What do you guys think? Let's turn it around, see if we can see ridge. Yeah, I think that's a scratch because when you look at this, you can see that there's a central canal down through the center of it, and then the metal flows up and away, and that kind of is indicative of a scratch. All right. Just going around and see what else we can see. More wear. Now this is kind of interesting. It's almost geometric patterns with the wear there. Nothing on the S or T that I'm seeing. And we're going into United. Nothing there. So let's come on down to Liberty. We'll square it up. A little bit of damage to the B. And let's go around and see what Washington's profile looks like. That's more damage after the mint right there. Now, there's something here. I'm not sure if you saw this, Charles. This may be indicative of delamination. This is a copper nickel planchet. It may be some flaking that's trying to occur right here across the scalp. That's kind of interesting. Seems to me that I heard that some of the coin grading services no longer will call that out as a error or defect. So I'm not sure what they're doing, but that certainly looks like it could be delamination, right? I think it looks more like that than it is a die crack, but it's one of those two things. Very interesting coin. Whoops, let's go back up here. This is damage in the crown of the head, right in this area right there. Sometimes you can find these little gems inside the hairline. More scratches, I think. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the most interesting features here, Charles. Right across the scalp near the forehead, right in that area right there. Okay, let's go back down and look at the one that he originally started with. It is pronounced under this magnification. But now at this level, it kind of washes out where it crosses over the U, but you can still see that a bit. So if it were left to me, I would say that this is probably surface damage, not a die crack, but on his forehead, it's either flaking delamination or some type of die crack. Now, where did that go? You have to turn it just right to see it. There it is. Yeah, kind of looks like a delamination right there. In any case, it is a very, very interesting coin. All right, let's go back to the main camera. Charles, thank you so very much for sharing with us. I've asked Miss Empire to put something back in the mail to you to show our appreciation. And if anybody else has a coin you would like for us to look at and share on camera and on our YouTube channel, please contact us through the information down below, and Miss Empire will share all the information you need to get it to us. And let us know if you want us to return the coin. We can do that as well. All right, my friends, we've gone a little long. We'll do the unboxing next in the next video. You take care of yourself, and as always, good hunting. Cheers.